pastor of the Church of the Larger Fellowship, who was my predecessor at one point in the earlier days of the Office of Lesbian and Gay Concerns, Meg Riley. That's her daughter, G. Unitarian Universalists changed the world, and we changed the world through love. We changed the world through that passion that those of us who are over 40, okay, over 50. My birthday's tomorrow. Maybe 51, no, a little older than that. But no. We don't have time for that. We have more important things, because I need to say that the work that we have done, we have to celebrate. And it is time to celebrate now. We don't need to wait until all of the victories are won. We don't need to wait until then to celebrate like those youth did, those people that worked on Minnesota marriage equality and every other campaign that has happened. They knew to celebrate. And so I have a charge for you. And that charge is to go home to your congregation and to plan a celebration. To give awards and honor the tireless efforts and work that people have done in your congregation, not just for marriage equality, but for every issue that matters. Have a celebration of your 10-year anniversary or 5-year anniversary or 15-year anniversary of welcoming congregation. Have a celebration that says, look how far we've come. Every congregation has to stop and take that time to celebrate. We don't do it enough. We have to remember and say, look what we've done. Look what we've done and what our congregations together have done in our district and our association. Look where our children are, where our young people are, the work that's happening. So I ask you to do that, to celebrate that. And then I ask you to challenge yourself again, to think more broadly. Because yes, marriage equality is still a #1 priority and is vitally important, and we're just at that tipping point, and tipping points have been known to sway backwards, and we still have work we must do there. But we must remember that marriage equality does not affect the lives of every lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer identified person. Marriage equality affects the lives of those who choose to get married, and everyone deserves to have that choice. But there are many other issues that face the LGBT community. More than 16% of respondents of a study done of LGBT people recently report household income of less than $35,000. Gay and lesbian couples and families are significantly more likely to be poor than our heterosexual married couple families. We don't think that. In fact, we often think the opposite, right? That the lesbian and gay people are rich. But the reality is that 25% of lesbians and bisexual women are poor compared to only 19% of heterosexual women. 15% gay men and bisexual men have poverty rates equal to those of heterosexual men. Lesbians who are 65 years old or older are twice as likely to be poor as heterosexual married couples. Children in gay and lesbian couple households have poverty rates twice those of children in heterosexual married couple households. Within the LGBT population, several groups are much more likely to be poor than others. African American people and same-sex couples, and same-sex couples who live in rural areas are more likely to be poor than white or urban same-sex couples. When we talk about the statistics with transgender people, the poverty rates, the unemployment rates skyrocket. Marriage equality will not fix that. It is only through our intersectional work, our work on poverty and homelessness, our work on immigration, our work on violence, our work on employment discrimination. It is through that work that we lift everyone. All of those issues are LGBT issues. And it is through that intersectionality that Maryland passed marriage equality. I think they would be the first to say that it was because the immigrant rights groups and the marriage equality groups began to work together. And not in a I scratch my back and you scratch yours, but a true commitment to say LGBT rights are immigration rights and immigration rights are LGBT rights. And it is that understanding that rights denied are denied to all of us. We have to work together on those issues. I'm particularly concerned, and I will share this with you, that it was 40 years ago this month that I came out for the first time, because coming out is a long and constant everyday process. But 40 years ago this month was my first coming out. It was not my choice. It was a nun who came out for me and told my parents that they should do something about me. But now I thank that nun because it helped me to start on a journey. But 40 years ago, 1973, a lot of things happened. It was a few years post-Stonewall. It was the start of the National Gay and Lesbian Task Force. It was a time when gay and lesbians began to say, we deserve something more. It was a time when Harvey Milk started to preach, come out, come out. You must come out and show everyone who you are. So that generation of people who came out in 1973 are now moving into senior citizenship. They are in our nursing homes and our retirement centers, and many are being forced back into the closet. Over 50% of elderly LGBT people in nursing homes claim they have to be in the closet to ensure that they are safe. And it is that generation that, unless they had a heterosexual marriage, probably didn't have children. We didn't have the option to have children. Artificial insemination was not an option for us. Even when it was developed, it was not an option for us for many years. And so we have many lonely senior citizens who have no support, no family, and are living in places where they have to be in the closet to survive. So my second charge to you today is, if you live in a retirement community, find out its policies, first of all. If you visit someone in a retirement community or in a nursing home, find out their policies. I was shocked to learn that one of the most liberal cities in the Southeast District, Asheville, North Carolina, we have the majority of retirement centers there, including many in which Unitarian Universalists live, will not accept LGBTQ. We have to get ahead of this, and we're already behind. So I charge you to think not only about the work you can do with LGBT youth, and not only the work you can do in marriage equality, but to think about the seniors among us. It is important, important work. And on that, I'm going to close with the words that I think hold and ground me. And that are the words that say, none of us is free until all of us are free. Our religious tradition calls us to do this work, to find it in our hearts, to love bigger than we could ever imagine possible, to love like G in that video, to know that everything depends on that next conversation. I call you to be people of love. Thank you for this opportunity of speaking with you today. It's been an honor.